Okay, it's me again. Um, Before I start, I'd like to pray. Father, ask that you give me wisdom and give me the grace and give me understanding and let your creativity flow through me in Jesus' name. And as I'm explaining things, Lord, let your spirit of understanding cause others to understand, convey the ideas to whoever is listening so they will understand all that I'm saying and grant me the grace to be able to explain things and make them as simple as possible. In Jesus' name, Amen. So, we start. Don't mind the stuff here. Oh, yeah, that's me. Anyway, I was more playful the other time, but I'll do my best to be serious. So, first, I'm going to open the the images I downloaded for reference. What I'm doing today, now I'm going to design posters for Good Friday. I don't know if I'll do Resurrection Sunday now, but let's see. Hopefully I'll finish Good Friday fast because I have other things to do. So yeah, I'm doing this for Düsseldorf branch and Hamburg branch because it's for two different churches. I don't know, like I'll have to make them look different, so that means I'll have to have two ideas. So for Düsseldorf, so first of all, I'm using this as a reference, and yeah, because we'll be streaming Bishop live from the Independence Square. So what I want to do is I want to cut out Bishop from here and do something else with the background, and then give our email address. Sorry, I say email address. Our address here as well. And I'm using another image as a reference, which you can't see because I haven't downloaded it yet, and I'm looking at it from another laptop. But it's what the First Love Church in London did. And I'm using that as what I think I like what they did there, so I'm using that and this as a reference, sort of inspiration. So on we go. I'm going to have to cut Bishop out of this. There are two options. I can either use the lasso tool, which I have come to realize I don't like using. The way that works is, yeah, what I did right now, there are three different types. There's the okay, this Photoshop is in German. By the way, which version? Sheesh. Yeah, this is silly. Anyway, this Photoshop is in German. So maybe I'll have to change it to English later. Change my settings to English later. I'm trying to find out the name, but this is the lasso tool. Okay, fine. One is more like a free drawing tool. You can just freely draw with it. Like, let's say we want to do this, so it's more like a hand drawing tool. But what happens is that whatever you draw, you have to, if you start from here, the reason why you get those weird it's like it closes the gap between what you've drawn. So what you have to do is wherever you start, wherever you started drawing, you have to complete. You have to go back to that point to complete it. So let's say maybe I want just Bishop's head. I have to go around here and finish off where I started. So it will select what I've drawn over. But you only get it perfect when it's like you complete it at the point where you started. And don't mind me, I've done this for years, so like it's by God's grace I've gotten quite good at it. It's not that perfect, but yeah. But this tool is not that easy to use if you are not very good at tracing, because it's quite loose. As you can see, it's going according to your hands, your like, if you have a firm grip and if you can trace very well, this is good for you. If not, and your hand shakes at the point, that it's not very good. Yeah, so as you can see, it goes according to how you draw. So if I do not complete this and I stop, it will try to connect from the point I started to the point I ended. So you will have to complete it yourself. Wherever you stop, it will try to connect. Okay, so I don't like that one. Well, now I'm using the right tool for this. I'm using a pen and a tablet. It's called a Cintiq, so I can actually see the tablet I'm using, the drawing tablet I'm using has a screen. So I'm drawing directly on the tablet. I can see what I'm doing on the screen. I'm drawing directly on the tablet. But if you're using a mouse, I wouldn't advise you use this tool. If you're using a mouse, maybe the next one in this group of tools, to be able to select the next one, you have to hold Alt and click. So there's the polygonal, which will draw lines, and to be able to draw another line, like connect another line, you have to click at a point, click at each point, click, keep clicking. That's why it's called polygonal, because it's like you're drawing a polygon. Yeah, and again, like as a lasso tool, that's what naturally is to try to connect your end and your beginning if you do not end at the same point you began. So to be able to finish with this tool, you have to double click. Oh wait, this is what I don't like. Yeah, double click, and then there's a magnetic one, which in some cases is the best, because it will try to, this is like artificial intelligence, to try to determine what you want to crop. I'm not doing anything, I don't even have to click this time, but it's just going according to the color difference in the image. It's just determining what I want to crop. So if you're not lucky and the color of the image you want to crop is almost the same or the same as the background, then it might, yeah, you might get something like this. Sometimes it's like it gets confused at a point. artificial intelligence. Among them, I used to like this one more. Yeah, at points, it's at points like this where it gets a little annoying. See, that's why it's called the magnetic lasso tool in English. I can't see the name in German yet. I found out in school that a lot of the translation for some of these software was really bad. So it's better if we use the software in English. And yeah, our teacher also said, especially with Photoshop and a certain 3D software we are using called 3ds Max. So the German versions, translation for the German versions are quite bad. I don't know, because me, I'm not. I was thinking, oh, it's good to install it in German to help improve my German. But well, oh well. So there's another trick here. If you want to switch to another tool, there's a way to. I'm using the magnetic lasso tool, but you want to switch to another lasso. There's a way to do it. You press Alt. You press Alt. So it has switched to the polygonal lasso tool. You press Alt, press and hold Alt. So I'm going to release Alt right now because I've gone beyond the point where I need the polygonal lasso tool. So oh, okay, it's still, yeah. So if you, okay, I get it now. So it changes permanently. So if I want to change it again, I press and hold Alt and click. Oh boy. Okay, there's a way to solve this problem as well. So I was almost done, and yeah, it looked like I double clicked. It's just something, a disadvantage of using a pen. Anyway, it might not have happened like that if I was using a mouse. So I've had this mistake and I want to correct it. What do I do? All I can do is press, yeah, okay, it's already selected, and then hold shift. See, when I hold shift, there's a plus symbol that has come under the tool. It means I can add on to this selection. So I start and continue while still holding shift. I'm not sure what would happen if I leave shift. I don't know. I don't want to know what would happen. So, like in the first case, I would have to complete. Hey, okay, I've left shift. So because I started with holding shift, it has decided to continue with what I started anyway. So I can double click to connect the beginning and the end because it's sort of along the same line. Okay, another mistake has happened. I double clicked, or I thought I double clicked, but I ended up clicking 3 times. When you click 3 times, the selection goes off. All I have to do is undo. For English, it's Ctrl Z. That's a shortcut. For Deutsch, it's Steuerung Z. Okay. So again, I have these holes here. What do I do? I just yeah, again press shift, but this time with this I'll need a different. I don't need the magnetic tool, it will just mess things up because it would attach itself to the nearest difference in color, like maybe the hairline here or something. So I'm choosing the freehand lasso to draw circles here, here, and then circles, a circle here as well, and a little circle here. Good. So now I think I've done like 90% of what I want to do, except for this little part, which doesn't really bother me for now. Yes, what I'm going to do here is what I just did here is that it was locked at a point. Wait, I'll just Control Z. So it was locked. It's a background, it's not a layer yet. But if I want to turn it into a layer, the reason why I want to turn it into a layer is that I want to remove Bishop from the background and make him a layer on his own. So Ebene durch aufschneiden. Okay, actually that's not very bad, but yeah, in case I wanted to use this background as well as a layer on its own, I would have had to unlock it because I don't want this. I don't want this. If you want if you want this part to be transparent, you would have to make it a layer. This part has become blue because of this here. You have your foreground color and your background color. Whatever colors you choose here are quite important when it has to do with background, right? Whatever color is in the background will show whenever you erase something on an image that hasn't been unlocked and is still a background. So I'm using the eraser. I've selected the background. I'm using the eraser to, that's what will happen. That's what will happen when I use the erase tool. But when I unlock it by double clicking the padlock yeah, and just clicking OK, it becomes a layer now. Now when I use the eraser tool, it becomes transparent. You just see behind it. Same here. So I can actually just select, yeah, I can select, okay, what I just did here was I used the magic wand to you select an area. It selects blocks of colors, but where you have different colors like this place, it will try to identify one color and select. Like here is identified only the black. Here will identify the green, the yellow, the black, the red, black. Here it will try to find one common color where you have clicked and select that place. So here it's very easy because it's a block of blue, so it's going to select here blue, everything blue. And if I want to clear that color from there, it will just, I'll just press backspace or delete, and then it is just gone. So yeah, these are little tricks along the line with what I did, selecting and deleting. If it was still background, if it was still a background, if it was still unlocked, if it was still locked, if I had selected a block of color, I would only get blue. Wait. Eh? What's this? Eh? What? I think this is a new function. I didn't know about this. What? What just happened? Okay, Photoshop is becoming more and more intelligent. Interesting. Let me try delete and see. And fan. Yeah, same thing. Move, TechCraft. Okay, whatever. So this is not my, like, it was just to explain some of the other tools as some of the tools as I'm working. I hope I haven't repeated something from the other session, the other videos that I did. So what I want to do now is what I want to do now is I want to finish what I started. Remove this. So thankfully there are more of blocks of colors here. So I can select the oh, okay, I'm still, you see, I'm still on the background has been selected. That's why it was misbehaving like that. So I'm going to select Bishop, select the block of color here, delete, select that, delete, and keep deleting till I get what I want. But I think in this case the best thing to do is just to use your eraser, your erase tool, and perfect what you're doing. This will help practice. Well, for me, I'm using a pen again, so you might not get, like, it might be a little difficult if you are using a mouse. I started learning to draw on the computer by using a mouse. That was actually fun. I started with a mouse, then later when a cousin of mine bought a laptop, started using my fingers to draw. That was fun and that was interesting. I wish I still had some of the stuff I did with the mouse pad back then. But in uni, in film school, I didn't, there was a point where, I think, yeah, in my final year, there was a point where I didn't have this pen and graphic tool, but I had a really cool laptop. And did I? Yeah, I finished my what do you call it? My final year animation with just the laptop mouse pad. I was drawing with my fingers, and my mates were like, "This guy is crazy. Why don't you just buy a tablet and a stylus and just do this?" It's like, yeah, this is fun. But yeah, anyway, I've decided to start using a pen and tablet anyway. So what I'm doing now is I'm erasing around Bishop, making this a little more perfect, so that when you do this, it won't be very obvious that you've cropped an image. If you look carefully at some other, fortunately, like the people in our church, it looks like people are really good at this, so you don't see any signs of cropping with our posters. I mean UD worldwide, but sometimes with other posters I see, sometimes it's evident that you see sharp edges, little sharp edges. Yeah, maybe sometimes it also depends on the software people use, which, yeah, software makes, sometimes it's at this point where the difference is clear between software that people use, because for some cheaper or free software, I'm not against. I actually use some of them. I'm using Canva. I don't know if you know of that one. I use that one because it's really good and it's free. But sometimes when it comes to certain things, Photoshop has a lot more, what do you call it? Photoshop is better. It's still tops. Adobe products that you have to pay for are still tops. Yeah. So should I leave this here? It's not very clear, so it will show. It's not very sharp, so it will show when the difference between this text and the text I'm going to add later on will show. So that's another thing. I think it's better if I just take it off. Okay, so I have what I want for now. I'm Bishop. So what do I do about this? This is where this tool comes in. With this tool, you also have to have a good eye. Like, try to be creative with it, which I know by God's grace, He has answered our prayer and He's given us a spirit of creativity. So what you do, it's called the clone stamp tool in English. What's it called in Kopierstempel? Okay, in German, Kopierstempel. So clone stamp, because you can select a part of the image and copy it here. You can clone it like that. See, but then you have to be careful. Other than that, it will clone the whole, like the more you draw, it will just duplicate the whole area you've selected. And yeah, you can't just, like, that's why I said you have to be creative about it. So I want to remove this here, so I just copy this part, draw over it, so it's like painting, like an oil painting on canvas or something. Very interesting. So that was a mistake. So sometimes it's stuff like this that makes it time consuming when you're using Photoshop. Okay, like in a case like this, it would have been better if you just had a picture of Bishop that you could just slap if you had the original picture, but since I don't, this is how I have to go about it. So yeah, it's very likely that the person who did this, it's very likely that I'm spending more time doing this than the person who did the original thing. It's likely. It's also likely that they spend a lot of time on it, because a lot of things count. Like from my other video, wait, it looked like the tool changed. Like from the other video, you could tell that sometimes you can spend a lot of time trying to figure out what text you want, or what, yeah, how the design looks, what to change, what to keep. Those are some of the things that take time, but it's worth it at the end, because you don't just do something that's how do I say it, cheap looking, or at the end you get to do something really that really looks cool when you're done. Like, it really looks good because it's very clear that you spent time, you invested time in doing it. So I will solve this problem here later. There's a way to do that as well. So at this point it's like drawing or painting, right? And so I'm just roughly going to cover all the places I need to cover. You could do this in another way also, by just picking the color of, yeah, picking this color and then using a normal brush to paint over it. But I'll show you shortly. The disadvantage of doing that is that when I pick, let's say I pick this color and I want to paint over here, the brush has picked only one color. It's not going to pick the overall texture. There's a difference between picking. I'll just show you. It's better to show you than explain it to you. So this is what I'll get. You get a blank color, right? Which is not the same as the texture, the feel of what do you call it? The material that Bishop is using. So at the end, if I'm able to erase this stuff, it means you see, so it's just one color. Even if I end up choosing different colors and trying to like manually paint, there are some people who are good at that, who can manually paint over it and try to get the texture. For God's grace, I can do that, but it will take a lot of time. It's better to use, this is why it's better to use a clone stamp too, because if you keep doing this, it will show. You see, it will show that you just this will make people see that, oh, this was photoshopped. At some points it might not be very obvious, but there's some people with very good eyes who will catch you. So do I undo? Yeah, I think I better. Yeah, undo. So I want to continue using the clone stamp too, because it gets the exact texture of Bishop's clothing and just copies that. It's easier than going the hard way. It's easier than going the hard way. Yeah. So so you just try to use your eye, try to find the colors that match. It's like, yeah, it's like painting and shading. It's lighter, then that's a darker shade. I mean, it's like shading in painting. Ah, goodness. I heard, yeah, I heard applying makeup. Somebody told me some time ago that painting is more like applying makeup, or applying makeup is more like painting. I was like, yeah, that's a good, I never thought of it that way, because you try to get the colors that go according to your skin or something. I don't know. Try to get the right colors that go according to your skin tone and whatnot, which I thought was interesting. So I think, yeah, women who do makeup and do it very well might get a hang of this quite well. So yeah, so there's somebody else. Oh, okay. So roughly, yeah, there are points like this that I can use a brush to yeah. So, and maybe here as well. Okay, so I don't want to be lazy. Doesn't pay to be lazy. Could leave it like that, but no. Go the extra mile and make it look better. And make it a little more even. Sorry, I should have explained what tool this is. This tool is called, in English, it's called the smudge tool. Wischfingerwerkzeug. Okay, Wischfingerwerkzeug. That's what it's called in German. So what it does is smudge. That's what it's called. That's why it's called the smudge tool. But it's very good for digital painting. Like, it's very good for painting, and in this case, what we are doing is very much like painting. We've taken something out, so we are trying to make this look as natural as possible by painting through, right? So we're just smudging again. I'm sure you get it by now why this is a little like applying makeup. Who knows, maybe I could be a very good makeup artist. My mom is actually a makeup artist, but for film and television, not. Okay, so yeah, it's beginning to look like a digital painting, but when you go far, it's not easy to see that was a painting. Cool, right? So yeah, this could be a very useful tool for other stuff, like, okay, mainly for church stuff. If there are pictures you want to edit for some reason, if there's a picture somewhere you want to use, but it has certain components of other things stuck to it, and you have to remove those things and then clean up after that, this is very good for that. And this is something you will not get on a free app on your phone. Of course, there are other ways to go around stuff like this, but if there's no other option, this comes in very, very handy. It looks like I'm advertising for Photoshop. Adobe should pay me. Well, yeah, whatever. So right now I've just gone back to erasing the edges again. And now I think we can get serious now. Okay, we've been serious this whole time, but we can get more serious. See what I just did there? I just selected the image. That's the move tool, which is the shortcut for that is V, file in German. So with that, when you select that, when you select that, you can use the arrow keys to move the image, whatever image you've selected. When you select V, you have to click on that image, whatever image you want to move, and use the arrow tools to move the image. Good. So I have Bishop now. Clean cut. I ended up using the tool I didn't want to use. The other way of cropping somebody out is simply to use the erase tool. Right? I'll show you an example. If you want to crop somebody or something out, you can also use the erase tool. But yeah, with that you would also have to be quite good at tracing, because you have to trace over that image, the image that you want to crop out. So I'm using the erase tool right now, cropping Ghana out. Ghana, my happy home, hey, land of rich resources, land of mighty talents. I've forgotten the words. And glorious culture. I will quit. I don't want to make any promise that I'm not going to fulfill in future. Sorry. Hey, some of the things they've made us sing and recite. Hey. Anyway, that's what we are talking about now. Some of the things they made us sing and recite would have been better if they made us sing and recite those things about God instead. Because we never know our future. Whether we will live in the country for the rest of our lives or not. Like, I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. Okay, that's, I mean, well, it's not like you shouldn't betray your country. It's not a good thing to betray your country. I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. I pledge myself to the service of Ghana. Hey, I'm surprised I remember this with all my strength and with all my heart. I promise to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So help me God. It looks like I missed some part of it, but anyway. Well, it's not so bad a pledge. It's not like, yeah, it's not a heavy thing to do. It's just like promising to be loyal to your country and to never do anything bad against your country. I said I was going to be serious at the beginning. Okay, so this is what I've done. I've used the erase tool to crop out Ghana. Yeah, so what do I do after that? This is very foolish. me not thinking of what to do afterwards before starting what I was doing. But what I usually do is that I've got what I want to crop out now, so I just erase the other stuff I don't want. And then at points where it's easy to select and delete, I just select and delete what I don't want. So something like this. I increase the erase to erase. Well, you're getting this funny erase effect because I'm using a pen. So it has sort of pen pressure, like, which is just like when you're using a normal pen. Like the pressure it gives when you press the pen hard on a surface. So it's trying to emulate that. That's the pen pressure too. So if I deselect it, it will anyway, well, that's I mean, you sometimes get glitches like this. So yeah, this is another way of going about it. Cropping. It looks like the lasso tool is a faster way anyway. That says something about me. Sometimes I like going the hard way. God. Anyway, so that's another way to go about it. So back to Bishop. I said we're going to be serious now, so let's be serious. So I'm going to open, I don't know if you can see, okay, open, the one I want first is this image. Hey, okay, this image. So I'm going to pull it out of the main wherever. Ah, goodness, sorry. Okay, so I just I changed, I don't know if you can see the image. I have made it a separate window, so I want to take out the image from its window and bring it to what I'm working on, my working area. Yeah, so I changed it from a background to a layer, and then I'm clicking and dragging it onto this window here.